right, Chicago, we are back. Then it's time for us to continue our Year 2 season simulation with your Chicago Blackhawks. And I want to apologize for the delay. The last few weeks I've been under the weather. My palate was swollen to hell, and I couldn't talk without sounding like I had just gotten surgery at the dentist or something, right? So my mouth is back to close to 100%, good enough to get some commentaries done. So let's get back at this, trying to get our Blackhawks into the Stanley Cup playoffs. We made it into the playoffs year number 1. We thought it was a gift, ended up being voodoo, missed out on that first overall pick. But year number 2, we've had a lot of great stories. Our young blue line, some good free agent acquisitions, Bobrovsky, Panarin coming back home. So this team, we're right there on the brink. From Tweenersville to a real contender. I don't think we're quite there just yet. Give Jokiharju, give Bachfist some time to get better. Kane, Taves, Bobrovsky, they're not dropping off overall-wise for at least another, 2, 3, 4 years. So we've just got to continue to, just add pieces here and there, and this team, for sure, will become a Stanley Cup contender. But I left it at the trade deadline in the last video because we wanted to improve our forward core going into the playoffs. Obviously, you have to worry about injuries, right? But forgetting about injuries for 1 second, we got the first line worked out. Patrick Kane and Alex DeBrincat seem to work perfectly to one another. DeBrincat is the playmaker. Patrick Kane is the sniper. He's going to have like 60 assists. Patrick Kane might have a 50-goal season, so that's great. Jonathan Taves and Nick Schmaltz, who's just been traded in real life to Arizona for freaking Dylan Strome. That's interesting. We'll talk about that in a shootout commentary. I can move these guys around. I mean, Schmaltz there, he's good enough along with Kane and DeBrincat to get that line as a plus line. Kane, DeBrincat will be putting up enough points, and hopefully Schmaltz can play that center two-way forward position for us, and that leaves Jonathan Taves open to be the second line center alongside of Artemi Panarin. But then we don't have that playmaker for Panarin. Panarin's stats were great at the beginning of the year when he was playing alongside of Patrick Kane, but now ever since we moved into the second line, he's at okay stats, and the idea was to find one more forward that could have a bright future here with Chicago, and then you'd have the top six set. You'd have your 2 snipers, your 2 playmakers, and your 2 two-way forwards, and then we can worry about the bottom 6 in the offseason. Now, I was reading your comments, a lot of people saying to trade away Brendan Saad, package him in a deal for someone even better than the players that we scouted at the end of the last video. I don't think I'm going to be trading away Brendan Saad until the draft, if we have to, because like I said, he's a pretty good defensive player, and the reason our penalty kill is doing so well this year is because we have a guy like Brendan Saad and Jonathan Taves. He's 84 overall. I understand what you guys are talking about points-wise. He's a -7, 13 goals, 16 assists, but I still love the way he plays defensively. And now that we can possibly move him down to the third line, if we can acquire that playmaker, that third line is going to be outstanding for us, and it just fills up the team. And because he has 2 more years, we can use him for this year and then trade him at the draft to get some value back to free up the cap space, okay? See, 2 more years, $6 million. So we're fine right there. So let's go to the team that we were scouting at the end of the last video, the Ottawa Senators. They had 2 players that we had our eyes on. Our blue line is fine. We just needed this one forward. They are 26, 34, and 3, so clearly not making the playoffs. And if you go to the players that are available, you got Jumbo Joe Thornton, you got Nemes Stantonov, you got Tyler Ennis, you got Bobby Ryan. All right, so some good depth players, Patrick Maroon, Marian Gaborik, 80 overall, but these salary caps are ridiculous. Realistically, the only 2 players that I had my eyes on was Jumbo Joe Thornton and Vladislav Nemesnikov, isn't he? Yeah, Vladislav. All right, and I know his name is Nemesnikov, but whatever. Ever since I first saw him on Tampa Bay all those years ago, I called him Nemesnikov. He's Stan as the Stankmeister. So Joe Thornton, a lot of people were saying he is better defensively than Nemesnikov. The only thing I don't like about Joe Thornton is 40 years of age. If we're making a trade, Nemesnikov is 27, and that fits right in, actually below our age category with Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves being in their 30s, right? Duncan Keith being up there at like 34, 35. So this works out for us. So if we take a look at his stats once again, 12 goals, 20 assists. We're getting him as the raging Russian teammate or line mate to the other raging Russian, Artemi Panarin. And that fills up our top 6. Take a look at those individual stats. All right. If I go to his advanced analytics, take a look at what he did last year because that's a full season. Almost a 20-goal year, 26 assists. I think that number will go up if you put him with a legit goal scorer. Don't know who he's been paired with in his time here with Ottawa and Tampa Bay. Hang on a second, but I like his defensive stats. He can also be trusted defensively. He's not going to hit and block shots, but we don't need him as a penalty killer. But you can trust him as well as being that he's like almost like a two-way forward playmaker. And 27 years of age, that's perfect. If we can get him back, especially after trading away Brendan Saad, that will work out for us in the future. So, Nemes Stantonov, I would like to acquire you. Going back the other way, the first thing we need to do is give up a roster player. Now, the salary cap situation is still going to be an issue. We may even have to drop off one of our injury-bound, not injury-bound players, our scratch players who were supposed to be in there for injuries. We may have to send one of them down to bring up a rookie who is even cheaper because the salary cap was a problem with Ekholm. It might now be a problem with, what's his name, Nemes Stantonov. So, yeah, Brendan Lepsic, because he's making 1.6 mil for another year, he is the roster player that has to go out the other way. Now, they are looking for some young talent and some draft picks. If I go to skaters matching the block, everyone that they want, I want to keep. Bokvist, Panarin, Kostopoulos. Jackson Kostopoulos is staying on this team. DeBrincat, Jokiharju, Schmaltz, Ekholm, Saad, Pesci, Myers, Dahlstrom has no trade value, so all these guys have got to stay. But I don't mind trading away our draft picks because we still have a first, we'll still have 1 second, and we'll still have, 3 thirds? Yeah, we'll still have 3 third rounders. So that's what, 5 picks in the first 3 rounds. And like I said, you can find a Jackson Kostopoulos or a Kurt Adams in those deeper rounds. So Leipzig for a second and a third. What we're also going to do here for Nemes Stantonov is get the Ottawa Senators to retain half his salary. See if that helps out with the salary cap situation for us. All right, so the salary cap is 80.5. With this trade, we will be at 80.0, so it should be good. With this retained salary, I'm only taking on 0.4 million, so I think we should be all right with this. Now, they may not accept that just for a second and a third. I can sweeten the deal, but let's see if it goes through. Proposed trade. No, rejected. We will not accept this proposal. Right, the Ottawa Senators are nice and cheap. They're not going to be if they want to trade a player, they don't want to retain any salary. They got a budget to keep. All right, so goaltenders, you know what? They want this Watt goaltender prospect, Camden Watt. When did we draft him? In the 5th round, 145th overall. You know what? I was reading your comments, and you guys were saying this guy's not going to become too much. Medium starter at 47 overall. You can find some better goaltenders by then, even in free agency. So you know what? They want him. That's some good value. Chicago would have too few goaltenders, so I'd have to accept a goaltender coming back the other way. Condon, no, I can't accept any of these guys because of their salary cap. I'll go Hogberg, all right? Hogberg coming back the other way. There you go. So Nemes Stantonov and Hogberg for Brendan Lepsic, a second, a third, and Camden Watt. Will it go through? Trade accepted. This is a really good deal for us here in Ottawa, so definitely we are saying yes to this one. I hope you know what you're doing. Oh, I know. So errors in lines, let me go ahead and fix all the line changes, fix the rosters. We'll do some power of video editing, and then I'll give you guys a summary of what the new look Chicago Blackhawks look like. Okay, I've got the lines ready to go for the final stretch of the regular season, and I've got to say, I'm very confident in what I see. Now, if we start to lose games, I still may make a line change or two, but I think this team should be able to get into the playoffs. So we'll go through the lines here quickly. First line, we got Alex DeBrincat, Nick Schmaltz, and Patrick Kane. I didn't know whether to put Jonathan Toews or Nick Schmaltz there. We're going to go with Nick Schmaltz just because I think Kane can get that line going the way it is, especially with DeBrincat. They'll score enough goals, and then Jonathan Toews can help out Panarin and Nemes Stantonov, the 2 Russians with that leader Canadian down the middle, baby. Third line, you got Brendan Saad, who's going to make that third line so much better now with Patrick Pajot and Yarncroc. And then, what was it? Reed Boucher with Walmart. And yeah, Brock McGinn gets moved down to the 4th line. He was on the 3rd line. Now we got an 80 overall on the 4th line. So the forward core looks good to me. The blue line, Duncan Keith. I decided to move Adam Bachfist up to the 1st line. I know his role is still top 4 defenseman, but he has been playing fantastic. And there was another reason why I was forced to move Bachfist up. It's because Jukka Harju is also now a top 4 defenseman. I was reading your comments. You guys were saying that he made the jump from top 6 to top 4. So if we're gonna put Jukka Harju in the top 4, I can't exactly put Bachfist alongside of him because they're both offensive-based defensemen. So I go with Bachfist because he's getting so many points this year with Duncan Keith, and then Jukka Harju alongside of Matthias Ekholm, and then Brett Pesce and Tyler Myers. We're gonna have to think about them in the offseason because they're making too much money for too many years to be playing top 6 minutes. But I decided to give them lots of penalty kill time, so the ice time shouldn't be an issue. Power play special teams, we got DeBrincat. Jonathan Toews is on the 1st line power play because he's on the 2nd line 5-on-5. I want to make sure this guy doesn't drop off. So he's going to be taking the face-offs and setting up Patrick Kane, DeBrincat, Bachfist, and Duncan Keith. I was thinking of 4 forwards on the 1st line power play, but then we wouldn't have a great 2nd line power play. We need that depth. So I went with Artemi Panarin. Instead of Nick Schmaltz, we decided to go with Jean-Gabriel Pajot because this year he's got 10 goals, 20 assists in 63 games played with no power play time, no penalty kill time. So let's give him some power play time alongside of Panarin and Nemistankinov, and also Pajot's face-offs is 84, so maybe that does get Panarin and Nemistankinov gone. Brendan Saad's on the point just because I don't want him to lose that 84 overall if we're going to trade him, and Matthias Ekholm's in there. 4-man power play, DeBrincat, Kane, Nemistankinov, and Panarin. The great thing about Nemistankinov is his face-offs is up there at 75, so he can take face-offs. No Jonathan Toews on the 4-man power play. Penalty kill. Now, here's where it gets good. Toews, Saad, Tyler Myers, and Brett Pesce. So that should be a really good first-line penalty kill. Then Nick Schmaltz, Brock McGinn, Ekholm, and Duncan Keith. I'm not putting Jukka Harju or Bachfist in a penalty kill role. Toews, Myers, Pesce, Schmaltz, Keith, Ekholm, the 3-man penalty kill. And then 4-on-4, DeBrincat, Kane, Keith, Bachfist, Nemistankinov, Panarin, Ekholm, Jukka Harju, and then Toews and Saad on the 4-man or the 3rd-line 4-on-4 lines. I know a lot of people are going to be saying, what the hell, Jonathan Toews is the captain. We got the offense. Remember, DeBrincat, he can take face-offs. They're not great, 72, but he's the playmaker for Kane. I want to keep these guys together at all times. We just traded for the guy to play alongside of Panarin at all times. And then Toews is the guy we use 5-on-5 and the penalty kill. So 3-on-3, him and Saad can play alongside of Bachfist, all right? So I'm relying on Toews for the defensive aspect of the game, the face-offs, down the middle penalty kill, but we're going to get our offense from 4 players. Kane, DeBrincat, Panarin, and Nemistankinov, all right? So there are the lineups. You guys let me know. Oh, and also one thing, it's a little bit of bad news. I could not afford to bring up a second forward for injuries. So if we have a bad case of the injury bug from now to the end of the year or in the playoffs and we have to play these guys, we may end up losing one of these guys, if not both of them, because I'll have to bring up more players, and then when our roster players come back from injury, I'll have to send them back down to the AHL, but they'll have to clear waivers. And John Hayden is 79 overall. With a top 9 potential, 25 years of age, he'll definitely get picked up. Same thing with Snuggerud. But you know what? We're going with the stacked roster. We'll worry about the salary cap in the offseason. So the Ice Dogs, yeah, let me do this myself. Adams, Kostopoulos still looking good, and Dronov, yeah, they're looking good. Dahlstrom. What did I? Oh, it was the goaltender, right? Because I traded away Watt. All right, so let me get Hogberg in there. There you go. All right, so there are the lines for the NHL and AHL. We have a clean bill of health. We just made the trade go through with the Ottawa Senators, and if you take a look at our draft picks, a year that we are hoping to make the playoffs, we still have a first, we still have a second, and we still have 3/3, 2/4. All right, so do not worry. We did not give up our future to make us better right now. Let me just one more thing. Yeah, so when you think about the trades that I made this year, hang on a second. We look at overall. Where are they? Ekholm and Nemistankinov. Traded for these guys both. One 29 years of age, another 27, and because of the retained salaries, Both of them combined are making less than $5 million. It's only for 1 year for Nemastantanov, but, this is what I mean about a cup run. We got a lot of depth on this team. We're right at the brink of the salary cap. We have the star goaltender. We have the deep blue line. Don't have a stud on the blue line, but we have a deep blue line. Then we have the stud goal scorers, Kane and Panarin, and the stud defensive players, Saad and Taves. So let's get going. And hopefully DeBrincat and Nemastantanov can pass it to those stud goal scorers. So enough vamping, enough taking our time here. Let us get the final bit of the season underway. I want to give ourselves a good run to the final, especially if we're in a playoff hunt. So 5 games, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so 10 games remaining starting here against the Arizona Coyotes. Let's go up to that day past the San Jose Sharks. All right, so 33, 25, and 5. Our division is weak. We just need to win more games than we lose, even a 2-to-1 loss ratio. All right, hang on a second here. Colorado is placing Mark Barbario on waivers. Would you like to claim him? 1.4, view player info. I don't think I'll be able to accept it, but let's just go through with it anyways. 76 overall, don't have him scouted. No, thank you. Do not need that player. If it was a depth player that I could afford, then yeah, I'd take it on, but I can't afford that. And not a good start here. Hang on a second. There's a win against the Columbus Blue Jackets. We just lost 2, but Eastern Conference teams. There's a win over Carolina. Back to the West up against the Vancouver Canucks, and Reed Boucher has been injured with a bruised hand. Estimated return is March 27th. Now, Reed Boucher is on the 4th line. They're going to put Hayden in there, so I'm just going to go assistant coach replace player. That's fine for me. 8-5 victory over Vancouver. That's what we need. We need that goal scoring. A 5-2 victory over Edmonton after a 3-1 loss to Buffalo. Central scouting rankings, blah, blah, blah. And a 6-2 loss to the San Jose Sharks. All right, so 37, 28, and 7. To me, that looks like a good enough record to make it into the playoffs in our division. It's not exactly a record that's going to blow anyone out of the water, but yeah, we're still clearly in contention here. We're in the 3rd playoff spot. We have a 2-point lead over Dallas, but what about the other division? Pacific. Wild card is at 81 points, and we're at 81 points. So even the 2 wild card spots we're tied with. So we're right there in the mix. Our last 10 were 5-3 and 2. So these new changes seem to be working. Patrick Kane is lighting it up, 73 points, 42 goals. Let me just go to edit lines here. There's no way to take a look at Nemastantanov's. You know what, EA Sports, you know what you got to add? A last 10 games stat for the players. The same way you would show your team. Last 10 games. It'd be cool if I could go to someone's stats, click on last 10 games, and they'd show me what they've done in those games. I can't tell. 72 games played. There's no way. I can't tell. I didn't make a mental note of what his stats look like. Panarin, 16 goals. See, I don't know. Nah, it should be working. I could always special teams. Some people were saying to put like DeBrincat here and then Panarin there just to get them going, but then we don't have that depth power play. And for the playoffs, you're going to need a depth power play, so I'm going to go back with that. Now, you know what? Seems like we're winning games. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Let's see if, let's keep an eye on Patrick Kane. He's the big one. 73 points, 42 goals. 10 more games. Can he get 8 goals in 10 games to get to the 50-goal plateau? All right, so let's go through this. Next up, we got Arizona, LA, and St. Louis. Those are 3 big games. Let's see, Arizona. Arizona is a wild card team, so big game against Arizona. LA is top of the Pacific Division, but we could catch them, so a big game there. And St. Louis, yeah, we're 3 points behind St. Louis. So the next 3 games are huge for the Chicago Blackhawks. So let's see how they unfold here. We'll go down to the game against the Minnesota Wild, who are not in a playoff spot. So the next 3 games are massive, up against the Arizona Coyotes. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Just get that W. There you go. Okay, shootout win. Arizona's a wild card team, so they got a point, but I don't care about what other teams get right now. It's about what we get. We got 2 points right there. The LA Kings, not a horrible team to lose to because they're at the top of their division. I would have taken Arizona over LA, but still, we need those points. Game against the LA Kings, a rivalry from the past. Chicago and LA, and we take it. All right, so 4 possible points. We got 4 of them. And next up, the St. Louis Blues. All right, if we lose this one, I'm still happy with the 3-game trip, but still get a point. Get something. Don't just lose in regulation. And it's a win! So 6 points on the table, and the Chicago Blackhawks get 6. We're up to 87 points now with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games remaining. All right, that's exactly what I want to see. All right, let's go up here against the Minnesota Wilds. Let's back out. Let's take a look at the divisional stats here. Chicago, 87 points. We've put ourselves second in our division. The Dallas Stars have a wild card spot, so we're 2 points ahead, but with a game in hand over those teams below us. 85 points, 85 points. So 85 points is the cutoff right now. We're right there. I mean, a losing streak could really be the end of us, but we're right there. All right, just keep on winning, boys. Let me go to calendar. Next game up against the Minnesota Wild, a non-playoff team. Now, we just won 3 tight games. It would make sense to lose against a team like this. So we'll just simulate up to the Ranger game. Let's see. Reed Boucher is available to play. Let me get him right back in there. All right, Hayden, you're coming out of there. All right, we're going to put Reed Boucher right back in. Don't worry if he's injured. I'll get him right back in. There you go. All right, so Reed Boucher has been put right back on that 4th line, and it's a shootout loss. All right, so it's a shootout loss. We got a point. So there was 8 possible points there in those 4 games, and we got 7. I'm liking that, and we didn't give up 2 points to a divisional team or a playoff-bound team there. It's the Minnesota Wild. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The New York Rangers, 39, 35, and 3. They could be fighting for their playoff lives. That could be a tough game here. Let's see. Reed Boucher's been injured with a bruised hand. Damn it, I brought him back too quickly. Assistant coach replaced player. Hayden get in there. And a 3-1 loss to the New York Rangers. All right, we got some bad teams, right? Holy shit. The Ottawa Senators started playing real well. They got almost back up to 500. The Ottawa Senators up next. Come on now. Don't lose 2 in a row here to New York and Ottawa, for God's sakes. Oh! All right, April 12th is not that bad, but Jesus, we're in a playoff hall. What did I say? We don't need the injuries to hurt us, because now I got to put a defenseman up front. Artemi Panarin's been injured with a sore knee. Estimated return is April 12th. All right, he should be back for the playoffs, but oh my God, can we make the playoffs? Give me a second. All right, that one hurts. Artemi Panarin out of the second line. Brendan Saad has to go in there with Taser and Nemastantonov now. I do not like that. But this is what I mean about the injuries, man. And to Panarin. Oh my God, 2 forward injuries. That's not what I needed. So McGinn, Pajot, Yarncroc, the third line gets reunited. Here's where it becomes a problem. Wallmark, Hayden, and I got Snuggerud, a defenseman, playing on the 4th line. Shouldn't be horrible for the simulation, because he is 77 overall, but this is what I mean about being so close to the salary cap. Can't bring up somebody, because then I have to send someone down. Reed Boucher, when Reed Boucher or Artemi Panarin come back, and they're not going to be too long, so then I'll lose Snuggerud, Hayden, or that new guy, and it's just, no thank you. I don't need that happening, so we're just going to go with Snuggerud. Scratch players, Panarin and Boucher, hopefully they don't take too long. Special teams, we got Saad in there. Jokiharju's now on the point, because Saad, I mean, oh man, that really hurt us. That really, really hurt us. Thank God we picked up Nemastantonov. We needed that extra offense here. And a shootout win against the Ottawa Senators. Okay, so the final 4 games of the season. Let's see where we sit in the standings. Now, when did they say Panarin's coming back the 12th? So, I mean, he's going to miss like game 1, 2. He might even miss game 3 of the first round, man. That sucks. God damn it. Fucking injuries. All right, hang on a second here. All right, so Chicago, 90 points. The Winnipeg Jets have already clinched the playoffs with 97. Hang on a second. Let me go back there. All right, so 90. We still have a game in hand over the St. Louis Blues. The Dallas Stars are in a playoff wildcard position, 3 points behind us. Same thing with the Anaheim Ducks, 3 points behind us. So we can afford a regulation loss. Can't afford 2 regulation losses, all right? So we just got to, 4 games left. Don't give me 2 regulation losses, and we're in the playoffs. Now, we could have 2 regulation losses and still make it, but we're really pushing it then. Let's just get into the playoffs convincingly here, okay? The Colorado Avalanche up next. Come on, baby. Don't get a regulation loss. There you go. Shootout win. Huge 2 points right there. Up next against the Nashville Predators after trading Matthias Ekholm. They're horrible. 27, 45, and 7. Come on, baby. Just don't get beaten regulation against them. Okay, shootout loss. All right, we got the point. We got the point, and now there's only 2 games remaining. I think we're in the playoffs, even if we were to lose these 2 games in regulation. Let me go back to the stats. I think we're in. Yeah, we've clinched a playoff position here, boys. There it is. So Chicago back in the playoffs for the second year. And Patrick Kane, a 51-goal season. Beautiful. Alex DeBrincat and Patrick Kane are just working beautifully together. Chicago, 93. Yeah, the other wild card spot is still at 89. So we're in the playoffs here, boys. We are clearly in the playoffs. So let's just simulate ahead and see if Panarin makes it back in time for the playoffs. I mean, playoffs may start the 9th or 10th. I hope it doesn't start right away like the 6th or 7th, because that's going to be bad. All right, so the Dallas Stars up next. Simulate past that day. Yeah, 3-1 loss. All right, we're already in the playoffs anyways. It doesn't matter. And the Calgary Flames. I said we could maybe afford 2 more regulation losses, but it would be pushing it. Yeah, we had those 2 regulation losses, and I'll show you how close it was. 1 or 2 points. Let's see. Yeah, playoffs, we made it by, well, we're in the divisional. 92 points for that. 91. Yeah, 91 points. So we made the playoffs by 2. So we could have even had 1 more regulation loss. So we got those 4 games in a row against the tough teams. That was huge for us. And it looks like we're going up against the Dallas Stars in round number 1. All right, so season has ended. We'll do all this stuff. Well, hang on a second. You know what? Let me just simulate. Yeah, let me continue. Do I want to? I can take a look at the stats. Am I going to miss anything if I simulate ahead? No. I'm thinking of MLB. Regular season has ended. All right, so let me just simulate ahead here. All right, that's good. The playoffs haven't popped up just yet. The 7th, the 8th. He comes back the 12th, remember. All right, so the NHL season has been completed. Roster management. Panarin is back! Fucking A, baby! Now, the question I got to put to you guys is, do we put Panarin right in there, or do we give him the chance to get better, not play him game number 1? That's a big one right there. That is a big one. So I'm just going to continue for right now. All right, Panarin is back. What about Reed Boucher? Is he coming back? Sim to the next game. Let's get up to the very first game. Anything? No. Okay, so Panarin is not back. So let me just go back to, Reed Boucher is not back. Panarin is. All right, so if I go over to here, scratch players. Yeah, Panarin still has the injury. He still has that lingering injury. So what do we do here, boys? You need to let me know. 7 games played. What the hell? Why is it only saying he's only played 7 games played? That's weird. Look how it says 7 games played, 3 assists. I don't get that. All right, so Panarin, boys, what do we do? Do we play him game number 1, or do we sit him and bring him in for game number 2? Reed Boucher, we got to wait. To bring Kid Schmaltz, yeah, you guys are going to have to chime in right there. We'll take a look at the team that we're going up against. But first, let us take a look at some of the season stats. We'll take a look at the upcoming draft, all that good stuff. So team stats. All right, so we'll just compare us in our division. Then we'll take a look at the best team in the NHL. So the Winnipeg Jets, the defending Stanley Cup champions, won the division. Goals for per game, we're at 2.73. All right, could be a little bit better, but remember, that's why we picked up Nemistankinov. It wasn't until the trade deadline. A whole season with him there with Panarin. Maybe a score more. Goals against per game, 2.51. Good, so we're scoring more than we're allowing. And that means playoffs. Power play percentage, 19.8. That is great. So our power play has been killing it. And our penalty kill dropped off, 78.5. Look at that. That's very interesting. That was one of our strengths. Entire league. Let's see. The best team in the NHL, 109 points, the Carolina Hurricanes. Winnipeg Jets, 101. Washington tied with them. Edmonton and Boston. All right. Very good. So there are the team stats. Next up, we have the player stats. All right, hang on a second here. Forward, so Patrick Kane. Yeah, Patrick Kane and DeBrincat, I swear, you just got to keep them together. See what I mean about DeBrincat? He is clearly a playmaker. 16 goals, 53 assists, and then all of a sudden, Patrick Kane, 51 goals, 35 assists. These guys need to be stuck together. Jonathan Toews, 22 goals, 33 assists, 55 points. I don't know if that's all from him being on the first line. Don't know. Panarin's stats really came down. He was point per game, almost goal per game when he was playing alongside of Patrick Kane. Now, we didn't get the full season with Nemistankinov, but we got to get Panarin going. He has the ability. We've just got to get him going. All right. Pajot, 40 points. Nemistankinov, all these guys down here. Very good. Let's take a look at defensemen. Bachfist. Oh, man. Bachfist is the real deal. If he's putting up that many points at 82 overall, what's he going to do when he's like 88 if he jumps that high? That's great for us. So that's also helping out Patrick Kane because Duncan Keith got more time on ice, but way less assists. So, yeah, Bachfist is the man we got to run with. Ekholm, same thing. Pesci, Tyler Myers. Joka Harju, a +8. There you go. 11 points in 57 games played. Beautiful. And our big-time goaltender, what did he do for us? Yeah, Bobrovsky. Not a great record, 35, 28, and 5, but a save percentage of .924, goals against .226. That's what you need. He's putting up the numbers, and when we're in the playoffs, you can really rely on a goaltender like that. 10 shutouts over the year. I mean, if we just had a better team on front of him, a more consistent team, we could be a President's Trophy winning squad here. We just need some more offense. And a full season with Nemes Stantonov in the lineup, and our 2 young defensemen, Jokiharju and Bokvis, getting better. Our blue line's still a little bit weak, but I like the way this season unfolded, all right? So that is the regular season stat. Oh, I forgot to show you guys the player stats for everyone in the NHL. Hang on a second here. Chicago, go up to entire league. I will throw it on forwards. Let's see, Tyler Seguin. All right, so we're going up against the Dallas Stars in round number 1. Tyler Seguin, 51 goals, 97 points. Alexander Ovechkin still getting it done, 53 goals, 91 points. And then there's Patrick Kane, number 3, baby. Connor McDavid, Brad Marchand, Kuznetsov, Tarasenko, Jamie Benn, McKinnon, all those guys. Defensemen, let's see, Pietrangelo, 66 points. See, I think Bokvis is capable of getting that. He had 43 in his rookie season. 66, and he's 82 overall. Yeah, he could certainly get up there. And goaltenders, just to show you guys the best save percentage goaltenders in the league. Ryan Miller on Edmonton had 43 wins at 79 overall. Edmonton, see what I mean? You just need a good team on front of Bobrovsky here. Holtby, a 927 save percentage. Corey Crawford, look at that, traded to Carolina. 930 save percentage. Good for you, Corey. But he's the exact starter now, 86 overall. He's dropping off. I'm happy with the trade. Frederick Anderson, where is Bobrovsky? Hang on a second here. Bobrovsky. These guys don't count. Hang on. Minimum 40 games. There you go. Bobrovsky. Ooh, he's all the way down here. Where is he? Bobrovsky. Yeah, all right. So he could have had a better season. A 9.24. And the best was like a 9.33. Luukkonen. These guys, 86 overall. So we just got to get a better team on front of him. But still, he's a legitimate goaltender for us. So I'm happy with that. All right, so that's all that taken care of. Let us now take a look at the team that we're going up against, just to give you guys a quick look if you have any suggestions for the line changes. And also Artemi Panarin. If you think that we can go a game without him in the lineup, you let me know. But here are the Dallas Stars. You got Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, and Alexander Radulov. All right, that's tough, man. 291s and an 88 overall. They're putting all of their chips on that first line. Second line, they got Mr. Game 7, Justin Williams, Devin Shore, and Valerie Nikushkin. All right, not bad, but all their guns are on that first line. You can tell they're not spreading them out. Third line, Matthias Janmark, Dickinson, and Pitlick. 80 overalls, not bad. And then the fourth line, Remy Ellie, Faxa, and Brett Ritchie. So they have depth, I'll give it to them. And I guess they're just trying to get all their offense from that first line. Defensively, Lindell, Klinberg, yeah, their power play is going to be filthy. Braun, Honka, Spiza, and Girardi. I wonder where Heiskanen is. Scratch players, is he injured? Jason Spezza, we don't know. Johns, maybe he's just not good enough. Maybe he's down there in the AHL or something. All right, what about goaltenders? Who do they have in the net? Ben Bishop, who is an 86 overall. So what do you guys think we should do for round number 1 against the Dallas Stars here? Last year, we got swept out by, what was it, the St. Louis Blues? Something like that. This year, what do we do? Do we get Panarin back in there, take out Snuggerud, or do we try game 1 with this squad and then bring Panarin in? Because if he gets injured again and he's out for another 13 weeks or something, that's going to suck. So you guys let me know what we should do. Year 2 playoffs up against the Dallas Stars. This is a team we can beat, but they are coming into the playoffs on fire. 8-2-0 in their last 10. So what do we do, boys? You let me know, and I will see you in the next one. Hey guys, Johnny here, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and make sure notifications are on so you don't miss out on any new content. We also live stream on Twitch where I take days off my life for your entertainment. Sonny Gray, get out of it. You stupid pieces of shit! I should have gone with Jose for Fernandez! Oh my God, pitching change. Fernandez, get your ass in there. Oh, I swear to God, baseball God just decided to all over me. Grand slam, oh yeah. Make me miss the playoffs with a first-ranked team. Year 2, 30 games above 500, no divisional win, trip to the wild card. First inning.